Hey there, everyone. This is gonna be a quick video. It might be quick. It might not be quick. I think if you're watching my channel, you know that I don't do anything quick. But this is just gonna be like a multi-purpose video. But the main thing will be to announce that I'm gonna do another Q&A. I did a Q&A at maybe 2,000 subs. Could have been. I don't know. It was a long time ago though. And now that at some point, I don't know when, I went over 3,000 subs, I'm going to do another Q&A because people seem to like those things. And I like doing them. It's fun to answer questions. It's good for me at least. I don't mind answering questions. If you if you've been subscribed for a long time, or maybe you went back and watched the previous Q&A video, you know that they tend to run long. I think that the last one was 6 parts at about an hour each part. Um, so if you ask a question, be assured that I will answer it thoroughly. Probably with more detail than you possibly wanted. So yeah, that's a thing. So if you've got questions, leave them below, and I will keep them, and we can do some Q&A in here. So generally get a lot of questions, but if you don't have any questions, that's cool too. But if nobody has any questions, then the Q&A will only probably be an hour, because I'll still talk for an hour with no questions, because it's how my channel is. But yeah, so leave some questions below, and I will handle that eventually. I don't know when I'll do the Q&A, but once I get a reasonable amount of questions, I guess I'll do a Q&A. So leave some questions below. But the other part of this video is just going to be a kind of update on things that have going on. I finished my move. You can tell because I have a different background for the first time in maybe ever on this channel. And the background is different. I'll change it up eventually. I mean, games are over there to my right. I've got a bunch of stuff, but currently I'm just sitting comfortably on my couch, and I'm not gonna like set up anything where you can see games in the background or whatever. It's not important. This is just like a stupid update video. But the move went good. I was very happy with the movers. They didn't damage or break anything. No damage to my games. Not even box games. Not a single extra crease in those boxes. Everything was good. So the movers were very conscientious and helpful, and they didn't lose anything, and they didn't break anything. So the move is good. I'm not 100% unpacked yet, but I got a big chunk of it done. So I'm waiting for some shelves that I bought to come in so I can finish unpacking the rest of this stuff. Like, the new place is much bigger, but the kitchen is much smaller. So like the rooms themselves are like much bigger than my previous place, but the kitchen is like half the size. So I don't like even have a room I don't like have a place to prepare food, because there's a bunch of other stuff in the kitchen. So I have to like, I'm waiting for a shelving thing, a kitchen shelf thing that has like a cutting board on it so I can cook. So that's gonna come through on Friday, and then I'll be able to unpack the rest of my stuff and get my apartment looking like, like a relatively cleanly place where somebody lives, instead of like a place where there's a bunch of boxes. So that was good. The move was smooth. I mean, beyond the previous video. So the moving part was really good though. The moving itself, the movers were great. So I said that already, but it was also really easy. It did all of that, booked all of that all over the internet, and it worked out perfect. So I would recommend doing that if you're in Japan, renting your moving company through the internet. What else do I got to talk about? I got a lot of stuff going on. I want to give like a slight update from the summer. So if you've been watching the channel, you might have remember in the summer I made a video about kind of being burned out. Just being like burned out from playing games, and being kind of, I don't know, stopping playing games. Not stopping, but like cutting down the amount of stuff I was doing that was game related. And it's been what, I don't know. I don't remember when I made that video. It's been almost 10 months. That seems long, but it's possible. I think I made it in August, or maybe I made it early September, but it hasn't been a year, but it's been, you know, a good stretch of time since then. And I haven't actually talked about it. I haven't talked about much on the channel at all because I've been busy. But I have stuff that I've been doing, and I wanted to give you guys an update on the stuff I've been doing because, um, I don't generally when I'm on my channel, I say I'm gonna do something. Generally, I mean, unless it's make more videos, then like I'm probably not gonna do it. But if I'm talking about this other stuff, like it's pretty likely that I'm gonna do it. Um, so I'm gonna just give you guys an update about that. Let's see. I have my comic, which I've mentioned before on this channel. The comic I'll link below is called Silkworms. I have been intermittently doing it. There's been points where I haven't been able to do it because I've been busy with other stuff. But going back to Silkworms now that my move is basically done. I'm gonna be writing more of those. I have a bunch written. I just have to draw them, which is the hard part. But I gotta draw. I've got more comics to draw, and they'll be going up as soon as I finish drawing them, I guess, and I guess scanning them. But I have my scanner still works here, so that's good. Not the good scanner, but my home scanner, which is passable. I mean, I can do color correction, which makes it a little bit better, but it's not like as good as the last comic I put up was not scanned on my home scanner, and it came out like um, so nice that like it makes me want to you know use the scanner that I use all the time, even though like I technically it's not mine and I can't. But that was a really good thing, and I wish I had scanned other stuff with it. Speaking of other stuff that I wish I had scanned with that, I did draw and release a book in the interim. I don't believe I've mentioned the book on my channel. I've mentioned it on Facebook if you're on my Facebook and or my Instagram. But the book is done. You can buy it on Amazon right now. I'll link it below. It's called Little Orin and the Noises. It's a picture book, like a children's book, but maybe not so much for kids. Could be for kids. I mean, it's written in the vein of a children's book, so it's simple, but it's not exactly like a children's story. It has an actual message that's probably would be hard for a kid to grasp, but it's written simply and drawn simply like a children's book. It's it's essentially like a 32-page Silkworms comic. But if you are interested in that, again, I'll link it below and you can check it out. I also have another book coming next week. Actually, it's not a drawn book though. I painted the cover, but it's short stories. I wrote one short story. Tom, my co-host on the wrestling podcast, wrote the other story. They're two horror stories in a book, collected in a book, I guess, and it will be released next week. It's technically released now. If you were really, really chomping at the bit to read some short stories, you could buy it now. But I'm not going to tell you how. But if you go to my book on Amazon, you will find it. I mean, it's not hard to find. But the book will be out officially out, even though it's technically you can buy it now. It's out next week on the 14th, which is Flag Day. It's released on Flag Day for some. It'll be for a very obvious reason when you see it. But yeah, it'll be out then, and I'll post about it on Facebook. I might make videos about the books on YouTube for people to see. If you guys are interested. I mean, it's not a gaming related book. Like, one is horror short stories and one is like a weirdo children's book. These are not things that I generally think that people on my channel are incredibly interested in. But I'm going to talk about them anyway, so links below. Check those out. And if you are really into it, you could buy them, not just check them out. That would be great. But again, you can buy them on anywhere: Amazon, Amazon US, Amazon UK, Amazon Japan. You can buy them everywhere. So, although Amazon Japan has weird shipping times, even though like it says like 1 to 3 months for shipping, but I know somebody in Japan who bought one and it came in like less than a week. So I don't really know what the shipping deal is on Amazon, but apparently it's fine. Even though the time is kind of screwy. Beyond that, though, the book, the comic, well, two books, a comic. I have still been doing my Warhammer stuff, but not so much recently. I was gonna wait until after the move before I continued with some other stuff. But I haven't been showing the videos because I stopped doing my Adeptus Mechanicus army because I'm gonna do because you know before I started doing Adeptus Mechanicus, I said if they brought back Genestealer Cult, I'll play that because that's my favorite thing from second edition. I love Genestealer Cult, and they actually did bring it back. So I was like, "Fuck!" Now I gotta do that. So I'm gonna start a Genestealer Cult army. I might just do like Genestealer Cult teamed with Adeptus Mechanicus, which is not really something you can do normally, but you can do it in a sense that they're like hostile troops against each other where you can't put them within like a certain range. Whatever, it's not important. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I also started a Skaven army, which is mostly painted. I haven't put up any videos about that. I didn't make videos about it, but I painted almost an entire Skaven army. So my Warhammering is going to get on. I'm going to get some Warhammering on now that I've moved and I'll have more free time. I'm looking around trying to think of what else might be going on. That's generally it. I've been busy. I have been doing stuff, but that's not to say I haven't been playing any games because I have. Not that many, but I have. And I'm gonna put up a video maybe tomorrow about Langrisser, Tensei, whatever the whatever the English name is, Rebirth maybe, Resurrection. That would be weird, but it might actually be that. I don't remember what the English name is, but it's Tensei in Japanese. But I'm not done with it yet. I'm on the last battle right now, so the video might not go up tomorrow because I might not have time to finish it. But if I finish it, I'll put up a video. I'm also gonna do a video about my PC games. They're mostly digital at this point, and I basically only get games through GOG, Good Old Games. But I have like 2 games, maybe 3 games on my Steam account that or like mostly like games I got for free that were Steam keys. I just don't like Steam. I don't usually use Steam, but I like GOG for my games. So I have a bit of a GOG library, but not really a Steam library. So I'm gonna go through my GOG library with you guys, and we'll talk about some classic PC gaming, which is one of my gaming things that I really like that I haven't talked about on this channel almost at all. So you guys can get to see some of the classic PC games that I enjoyed as a kid or just enjoyed afterwards that I like. A lot of the PC games I never got to play, I get on GOG because I remember really wanting to play those games but not being able to, or just not having money to buy those games at the time and just not getting them eventually. But now I can get those on GOG and play and figure out all types of new stuff with these things. Plus I get some new PC only games too every once in a while, but it's much rarer than the classic games that I get on PC because there was a point where I was mostly a PC gamer. I mean, it seems strange to say, but like I've always been a console gamer, but there was a point where consoles were secondary to my PC gaming. This was like in the mid to late 90s when PC gaming was so divine, as they say. It was so good then, and most of my games are from then. Well, I mean, some of them are late 80s, early 90s, but beyond that, there's once you're at like 96, 98 or so, you're like in the key time for great games. 90. I would actually move it a little bit earlier than that, but whatever. I'll talk about that in the video. But this was supposed to be short, and it's not really. I'm eventually also going to do that Darkest Dungeon video. I mean, it's kind of late now, but, I finished that game months and months ago. I just never made the video. Um, but maybe I'll make it. I probably should, because I said I would. I'm trying to think of anything else. I might do some streaming again soon on. I'm streaming on Twitch. I know some people wanted me to stream on YouTube, but it's just not going to happen. I streamed on YouTube once, and it was a horrible nightmare. It was not so fun. It's much more fun for me to stream on Steam, not Steam, on Twitch, because it's easily moderatable. I can boot people who are assholes, and on YouTube I couldn't do that. So I'm gonna, I'm just going back to Twitch. So follow me on Twitch. There's a link on my channel. So come to Twitch when I stream. You'll get a notification if you're following me. I'm probably, my guess, and this is just a guess. It's totally up to my feeling at the time, but I'll probably be streaming PS2 stuff. Because I'm looking at PS2 games, and I think like there's a lot of stuff I want to play. But it might be something else depending on how excited I am about something at the same time that I get the feeling I want to stream. So it could be PS1, which would be easier to stream because I can use my PS3 to play. But it could be anything. Could be Dreamcast. There's a bunch. I'm like looking at the games, and I think like, when I was unpacking, I was, had to go through all the games, and I was thinking like, wow, I really want to play some of these soon. And mostly that was centered on the Dreamcast and the PS2, but the PS2 is closer, so I was thinking PS2 would be next. So probably I'll be streaming PS2 games. I have a bit of a cold here, so I'm, trying not to drip snot all over this video. But yeah, so I guess I'll finish this. It's much longer than I expected it to be, but that always happens to me. If you're not used to that kind of thing, haven't been watching my channel. So yeah, that's it. This is my new apartment. I'm not gonna do like an apartment tour or anything. I don't think so, at least, because it's not really worth it. It's like 2 rooms and a kitchen. How exciting is that? So yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for you. So leave some questions below. Check out my books and check out the comic. Check out the I don't know, anything related to the comic, anything related to the books. There's some stuff. I'll put links to all of that stuff. Check it out below. Leave me some questions for the Q&A, and that's it. We'll be back with the next video soon. So I will see you guys next time.